Alright, it's been a couple days since we got it running, and the next thing we want to do is work on making it drivable. So we need to secure these batteries and get the battery cover back on. We need to come up with a more semi-permanent fuel tank because I don't want to use the factory one and suck all that garbage out. And we need to put the U-joints back in. These are drive-in bolt ends on the caps of the U-joints. We got to put that back in, and we got to remove the caging bolts from the brakes, and then we're going to see if this thing will move under its own and get an idea of what kind of condition the transmission might be in. Again, this is a 4-4 twin stick, so ought to be interesting. So we'll start with I think I'm going to start with the U-joint and the caging bolts, and then that way when I start getting soaked with diesel fuel, you know, it'll be after this stuff is done. So let's get at it. Alright, so this U-joint's no good. The one cap has absolutely no bearings left in it, so we're going to take and push it out. I'm going to use a Tiger tool U-joint press. It's number 10102, and this thing makes very short work of these things. And I don't want to buy a new one, so I'm going to remove one from another shaft that I have and put in this one. Pushing the U-joint. Yeah. Pushing the U-joint through the cap. Be careful of this because grease can splatter on you and catch fire. Alright, so we still don't have the end cap out. So you can see what I was trying to achieve. That end cap just score the inside without touching the yoke itself on either side, and gives it a little room to compress, and then you can knock it out. I took all the bolts out of the caps. Now I need to take the grease fitting out. Make sure there's only one in there. Alright. Try and get this set even. those pieces of U-joint. Let's see. Cut them out. Tell you what, man, this tool has really saved me a ton of time. That's funny. I told you guys to look for a second one because I've seen them, and there was one hidden back here and I missed it and I broke it. So I'll have to get another grease fitting in there. Doesn't hurt to give this thing a little whack. Like that, you see it shock it loose. Okay, success, except for what I told you to look out for. Broken grease fitting, I broke that off. I'm going to clean up the insides of these bores because they're really rusty and they've cooled down now. I don't have much tension on here. All I'm trying to do is just get that crud out of there. I'll take some PV Blaster in here in a minute. I just want it to slide in easy. Alright, I'm happy with that. Let's see how they fit. Hold up on the U-joint as I tap this in. Can't tell if that one's right. I think these are just filthy. I wish I would have seen that ahead of time. See how that's beat up right there? Alright, I'm I'm gonna have to go get a file. I'm gonna have to clean this off so it'll sit flat. Somebody beat the crap out of that. Oh, look at that. That's not even gonna go in. Ugh, I'm gonna have to drill these holes. Well, I was able to kind of salvage it. I guess we're gonna be alright. Now we're gonna get the next cap in. Shove that U-joint up as far as it'll go to guide this. But it'll work. Slip yoke's clear in the front. Now, how in the world is that going to work? See the ratchet strap there? That's how I got it. So I can get it in there so I don't have to fight it. Well, I'm not sure if it's worthwhile or not, but geez, I finally got that in there. Somebody just absolutely beat the crap out of that yoke. My grease fitting in now. What an ordeal. I had no idea someone had beat that so badly. The inside had been smashed in several places and it just wouldn't let the cap go in. What an ordeal. That one side that was beat up real bad is the one that I fought. Oh, if I only had my snap-on driveway creeper. Okay, get some grease in that joint, and we're gonna put the carrier bearing back in. Alright, so I went to get some shorter bolts. Those were quite a bit longer than I needed. Uncage the brakes and see if it'll hold and if it'll release the parking brake. It's been running for about a half hour again. I got the caging bolts out of the brake chambers and we flushed the fuel tank out. I drained it and then I flushed it, and it was just a miserable ordeal. There's so much crud in the bottom. We got it hooked up again. We got one small return line leak we'll have to deal with, but I think we're ready to take her for a run. See if she'll move on her own. at first the steering was extremely tight, and now you're spinning the wheel and it's hardly doing anything. So I suppose we need to look into that fluid in there. Okay, so I topped off the power steering fluid and it now works a little better, but you're still turning the wheel for days before you actually get anything to happen, which is pretty typical for this old thing. Runs good. It was actually, I took it on the road in an empty parking lot and started to get through the gears a little bit, and it did okay. And then I felt it dragging, and I could see the air pressure dropping fast, so I hurried up and got back. That air hose is, you know, really bad shape. Actually, they all are. So it needs some air lines. That's nice. But regardless, I guess for driving in a vacant lot, it's okay. It held good temperature. The oil pressure was hovering about 20, 25, somewhere in there when it was at full operating temperature, so not too bad. Like I said, it takes an acre and a half to get the thing turned. Of course, the differential lock was stuck also, so I had to mess with it a little bit, but the tack doesn't work, the cable's broke. Right about 20 pounds. Suspension and the steering on this in the frame is just wiped out, but the motor runs extremely well. Cab's in decent shape. I don't know. I think we just need to find a better chassis to put it all on. And I got an idea. She runs pretty good. Even the clutch is good. I was amazed by this. To get to second and fourth on the auxiliary, we hit the wood down there, and it doesn't want to let you get into gear. Back in first and fourth, you gotta really kind of slide it in pretty hard. Whereas now it's working better. I sprayed it down with some blaster. Yeah, now it's working better. The main is still pretty stiff. Guess that's all for now. I just can't get over how quickly and how nice this thing fires up. Shows 9,623 miles, but obviously that's not right. And when I was on the road, I was so busy making sure I'm shifting in and everything's working okay, and I'm watching for what's going on, that I didn't pay attention to see if the speedometer worked. But anyways, runs and drives. Not bad at all. Look at the wood grain, you can still see it. My wife got it cleaned up pretty good. I mean, these aren't going to come clean, it's just not going to happen, but it is a heck of a lot better than it was. I don't know. We'll have to see where we're going to go from here. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. If you like the project, certainly give us a thumbs up. And we will catch you on the next one.